Take 3, everybody. Okay, long band. Now you might think, what has a band got to do with the pelvic floor? Well, actually we can stimulate for our arm lines and leg lines because the legs go into the pelvis. So that has an effect. When we abduct the leg to the side or lift it to the side or up in front, the pelvic floor is actually working at the same time, whether you are working consciously or unconsciously. So it is going to be working. So same with the arms. The arms are going to affect the pelvic floor line. So the way the anatomy trains work through our body has an effect on pelvic floor. So arm movement, I will always start my classes off with arm movements because I know that's going to affect the pelvic floor whether you realise it or not, but it does. I also start my classes off with going up on tiptoes. That will affect my pelvic floor as well. So I'm already starting to work unconsciously of your pelvic floor in my classes, whether you realise it or not. Okay, so I'm going to do a squat. So a squat is a really good fundamental movement because if you think about getting up and down out of a chair, getting in and out of your car, you're mostly doing a squat. So I'm going to add some lower body and some upper body movement so it's quite functional and it's in keeping with lifestyle. So I'm going to take a breath in, so I lower down. I'm going to breathe out as I lift up, that's my exertion. I'm going to breathe out. So I'm taking that breath into the rib cage and breathing out through the mouth as I come up. So I want to add a little bit of resistance, so I want my arms to work. So I'm going to push the band forward as well. So as I sit my hips back, my pelvic floor is lengthening. As I come up, it is shortening. And I'm going at a quite steady speed here. So I'm working my slow twitch fibres. So that's your endurance work, so that's your marathon runners as opposed to your sprinters. Exhaling. So 360 breath into the rib cage. Breathe out. I'm going to bring my coccyx, pubis, sit bone, sit bones together and lift out and breathe out through a pierced lip. Quite softly, not harsh. Engaging. So this is working my pelvic floor. So I'm not sitting at the traffic light and I'm not standing at the sink doing my Kegels, which is my lift, lift, lift and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Because that doesn't give me much functionality as a squat, sit to stand does, because I'm going to sit in the chair to eat my lunch, my dinner. I'm going to sit in the car to drive. So I need the pelvic floor to be functioning in a functional way, if that makes sense. Okay, take 3 was that.